What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. We just broke down every single game on the NFL card starring Rob Bebenek, special guest, the Whale Capper. If you want to watch the whole video, it is exclusively on odds.com. Just hit the link on the bottom of the screen. It will take you right there. All right, let's move on to the Falcons Saints. Saints open up as 5-point favorites. One book has moved that to 4.5. This total opened up at 51.5. Is now at 51. Falcons 3-6, 2-2 on the road. As Saints 7-2, 4-1 at home. Falcons come in off their bye week. They were last seen in a 34-27 win at home over the Broncos. Now 3-1 under Raheem Morris, interim coach Raheem Morris. Matt Ryan was 25 of 35 for 284 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Falcons scored on their first 4 possessions, converted 6 of 7 third downs, and that was without Calvin Ridley. So he's now had 2 weeks to rest his injured foot and was seen running in practice. Olamide Zaccheaus led the receivers with 4 catches and 103 yards. Todd Gurley ran 19 times for 53 yards. Dante Fowler missed the game, but is not on the injury report this week. He's supposed to be good to go. And Tack McKinley was waived, picked up by the Bengals, failed the test right away, so he's available to any team that wants him. So my problem with this game was that after watching what Winston did, and what Winston did was be very conservative, extremely conservative, not want to make the same mistakes he made as a Buccaneer.
Well, Peyton's going to have him on a real short leash.
Well, I think he already proved that he's going to be a different quarterback. And we know that Taysom Hill can be in there for a lot of snaps. And I'll get into the Saints, but the problem with this game was that I thought, wow, I'm going to get a really nice opportunity to back the Saints when Breeze gets hurt and back Jameis Winston in a new place after watching the offense for week after week after week on the sidelines and then coming in and not looking very strong but being very conservative in a game where all he had to do was not make any mistakes. And the problem is that I also wanted to back the Falcons off their bye week. So Prince of the Steve's laughing. He says, please stop auto fade. And I'm not sure if he's talking about the Eagles because he just jumped in the chat, or he's talking about these Saints. Okay, Saints coming off 27-13 victory over the Niners, overshadowed by the big hit on Drew Brees, fractured ribs, punctured lung. Brees stayed in the game after the hit, led the Saints on another scoring drive. They were up 17-10 at the half. Brees was 8 for 13 for 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Jameis Winston opened the second half, finished 6 for 10 for 63 yards. Latavius Murray led the running backs with 9 carries for 57 yards. Alvin Kamara was held to 8 carries for 15 yards, although he did lead the receivers again, catching 7 passes for 83 yards. Michael Thomas, 2 catches for 27 yards. Emmanuel Sanders, 1 catch for 5 yards. And I know that we saw nothing of what Jameis really could do to provide these guys who want numbers and want the ball with opportunities. But after watching Breeze for the last couple of years throw 5-yard passes, you have to think they're excited about Jameis Winston. This Saints defense is getting stronger and stronger as the year goes on. They've allowed 1 touchdown in the past 2 games. Tre'Quan Smith appeared to be knocked out, the receiver, on a hit by Ward while trying to make a catch over the middle of the second quarter. He left the game with concussion symptoms. He's in concussion protocol. Tight end Josh Hill also left the game with concussion. He's in protocol as well. Defensive tackle Malcolm Brown injured his calf. He's questionable to go. Marshawn Lattimore left with an oblique injury. That's a big question mark. He was on the sidelines happy in the second half. He's questionable. And then Dwayne Washington, not as important running back, remains questionable. Steel Curtain says Jameis is better than Breeze is laughable. Look, I'm not saying he's better than Breeze. But you could understand the receivers thinking, oh, I'm going to get some opportunities for some deep balls I haven't been getting from Breeze. That's what I mean. Bebsie, take it away.
Well, I don't know if it is laughable. I don't think – listen, Drew Brees has the lowest average yards in the air this year. I think he's passing the ball on average 5.6 yards down the field. He can't throw anymore. Yes, he's more accurate than Jameis Winston. And yes, career-wise, he's infinitely better than Jameis Winston. But right now, as long as Jameis Winston is not just closing his eyes and whipping the ball into triple coverage, I don't think he's worse than Breeze. That's the big problem here. I think there is value in the Falcons just because of the fact that 5 points, divisional matchup, Matt Ryan is better than Jameis Winston. I think there's value there, but I don't think Jameis being in is that much of a downgrade. You don't think Jameis Winston can throw a 5-yard out to Kamara and watch him rip apart a defense? Drew Brees isn't that big of a loss. You saw when he went down last year and Teddy Bridgewater came in, and they went 5-0 with Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Brees at this stage in his career is benefiting solely from Sean Payton's ability to scheme people open, play dink and dunk football, and let his playmakers play the ball. So if your reasoning for betting against the Saints is the Brees injury, I don't know if I'd get too excited about that.
I absolutely agree. My issue here, Bebsie, is that I want to bet the Falcons moving forward, and that's my problem. What are your expectations of these Falcons moving forward?
It's a tough spot. They've certainly played better since Dan Quinn's been let go. I've said this. I was surprised in that I didn't think he was a problem. I didn't know if he had lost the locker room. It really seems like they're playing better football without him. But again, like your season's pretty well lost. What are you playing for at this point? There's speculation that Matt Ryan might not be there next year. I just don't know. The Falcons have been incredibly difficult to predict over the last 2 seasons. So I don't know. I predict more of the status quo going forward. I figure they put up a bunch of points when you don't expect them to, and then I picture them losing games you don't expect them to as well.
You know, Dennis is with me. He says, I agree, Jimmy. The only reason not to love Nola is Atlanta's bet on as well. And that's where I'm left. This was, to me, from a betting angle, the perfect spot to back the Saints. But I want the Falcons. I want to use the Falcons moving forward, and that ties me up unless I'm going to do anything but the total. What do you think of this total sitting at opening at 51.5? The under was juiced, so it moved down to 51. Not a big deal at Bet 365, but what do you think about this total, Bebsie?
I just think divisional game, injured starter out, different look. I lean under in this one. Again, not certain I'm ready to jump on that. I think it's another line I'd like to watch this week and see where the action comes in. But to me, this is a lean under, but not a ton of confidence in that.
Okay, there's no move for me on this game at this point, and it's upsetting.